Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following me for quite some time, you know I have brought out the fact that China is deliberately poisoning the American public with fentanyl. This is intentional, y'all, because between what China is doing in Africa and doing right here in smuggling all of these drugs in America, they want world domination. The only thing standing in their way is America. There's a reason why a certain community is being targeted and really succumbing to the drug addiction and fentanyl, and the main ones buying the vast majority of the fentanyl on the dark web. Ladies and gentlemen, China has been using drugs in warfare for many, many decades now. This is nothing new. Whenever you want to weaken a nation before you invade them, you drug them all up. By the time they come in for a real physical attack, you won't have anybody that can really give them a fight. If go back and research how China made that whole country communist, it was not always all communists. What they did was they drugged up, they poured opium into the areas that were not communists. They waited for about 3 years so they would be nice and junkied up over there, and went in and invade those areas that were not communists, and they became communists. So the fact that China is going back to the weapon that they know will work, and that's drugs, is of no surprise once you understand their history. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember when I put my first video out saying that China is drugging America so that they can eventually take world domination. That video was hit immediately with demonetization. Almost as fast as I put it up, it was demonetized. I will never forget that. But it doesn't change the reality of what's going on. You can demonetize this one. It's still not going to change the fact that fentanyl is pouring into America, not only from China, from Mexico, from Canada, from the Dominican. It's pouring in from everywhere. And China have so many underground labs making the fentanyl, it's hard even for their authorities to catch up to these people. And remember, they don't stay in one place for long. They're constantly moving these labs around underground. So it's not easy for them to catch them. They may catch one or two here and there, but not enough to make any major impact or difference. These Chinese people have become multimillionaires selling all of this fentanyl globally. And you can best believe many of these Chinese people that you're looking at every day in this country are heavily involved in this. It's not just people over in China. It's these Chinese people right here in mainland America that's equally deeply involved in this, drugs flowing through America too. See, they just know how to put on an innocent face and keep you fooled. So here's yet another article that is telling you about all of the trafficking from an organization in Shanghai that is on the network selling these synthetic narcotics, which we know is the number one reason for all of the drug overdose deaths in America now is because everything has fentanyl in it. And this is why you're starting to see articles that come out that are telling you that the drug addiction is now taking another change from opioids to fentanyl being the main cause of overdoses and deaths. This stuff would not be pouring in if there was not such a great demand for it. Okay? China is saying they put out 16 tons of fentanyl every single month. Why would they be putting out that astronomical number if the demand was not there? And to sweeten the whole deal, China offers a money back guarantee if the drugs don't make it to their destination. They're so confident that your drugs will make it to you, they will give you a money back guarantee if it doesn't. So, over the last decade, federal officials say that Zhang Group mailed and shipped fentanyl and similar illicit chemicals to customers in more than 25 countries. So this stuff is going out worldwide and 35 US states. US officials say the syndicate's success laid bare in a recent federal indictment partly helps explain America's skyrocketing death toll from drug overdoses. Ladies and gentlemen, it is bad in America. I know they're trying to tell you out of the whole year of 2017, only 72,000 people died. They are lying. Ladies and gentlemen, they're lying. One thing about these folks, when they tell lies, they don't know how to cover all of the bases when they lie. Now, first of all, they said because of all of the drug deaths going on in America, they're changing. All of this is changing. The life expectancy is dropping. Now, I want you to think about the millions and millions and millions and millions of people that reside in America. Okay, just think about the size of this country and how many people reside here. Okay, now think about 72,000 people that died last year. That this is the number they're given. We know the figure is way higher, but this is the figure they are giving us. There is no way. There is no possible way 72,000 people could change the life expectancy in America. If 72,000 people died every single year, there is no way that is enough people to change the life expectancy. It would have to be in the hundreds of thousands or way more than that for it to even impact life expectancy. This is what I'm telling you. They don't cover all bases when they lie. Number two, if the number of deaths, as they're putting, is like 100 a day or 100 and whatever a day, they wouldn't even be putting these kind of stories out. That's not enough people nationwide to even make a difference. Okay, so why is the number so low? But they keep putting these articles out as if the problem is urgent. It is very clear. They are lying about the numbers. The numbers are really, really bad to the point where they're trying to conceal it and keep the real figure from the American public. It's bad, y'all. It's bad. So, people in labs in China are producing this substance that is killing Americans. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein said in an interview. This is a real crisis. The Chinese government has the ability to stop this if they want to. We believe they should want to do that. They won't. They won't. How are they going to become a superpower if they stop weakening the enemy? And if you notice now, America is now all alerted about what's going on in Africa because they know Chinese people are over there squeezing them out. You notice America and Africa is coming up in the news a lot more than we heard before. That's why. I mean, many of these folks know everything is slipping away. It's amazing how everybody on this earth, talk to people in different nations, everybody is watching America's fall. They know damn well what they're watching. But the people here will tell you they got high IQs and know everything and invented everything, but yet they can't seem to resolve the problems that are ailing them. This drug addiction, how come they're not using their high IQs to put it to a stop? How come they're not using their high IQ to create a decent sunscreen? How come they're not using their high IQ to stop all this fentanyl from coming in? How come they're not using their high IQ to fix their dying birth rate and low sperm count? I mean, if you're going to have a high IQ, put the damn thing to use. Stop saying you got a high IQ and your ass is falling apart. So, US officials have pushed Beijing to shut down the labs and say Chinese authorities have taken steps to police chemical makers. The push comes even as relations with Beijing has grown. Remember, the trade war is going on. This is another reason why China's not going to stop this fentanyl from coming in, y'all. See, Trump done pissed them off. They weren't going to stop it anyway. Even because if you really think about it, even before all of this trade war stuff came up, this fentanyl was still flowing in. But the trade war means they really ain't going to do nothing. They ain't going to do shit. They're going to let all them packages come in here, and very minimal amounts of packages will be stopped by the Chinese. And I think deep down inside, all of these people in politics, they know this. They know China's not going to help the US with these drugs. China is going to do America's thing, play the head game, make you believe something that they're actually not doing. And that's about it. See, China is playing their game and beating them at it right now. Say what you want. I'm going to say whatever you want me to, say and what you want to hear, but I'm just going to let those drugs flow into the US. I don't give a damn about no US. Nearly 29,000 people died last year in the US. They're lowballing the number from overdoses linked to synthetic opioids, a category that experts say is dominated by fentanyl, its chemical cousin, a staggering surge from the 3,100 such deaths reported in 2013, which they're lying about that number too for 2013. Lowballing it. One reason for the spike, the drug is so powerful that a sugar packet size, a bag of fentanyl can contain 500 lethal doses. That also means it can be smuggled through the mail with what officials call micro shipments that are far harder to identify and interdict than bulkier loads. So China is just putting these in regular envelopes and mailing it over here, and it doesn't stand out. It's not like they're mailing it in a big old bulky box that you have to check. It's in packages, little envelopes. You don't need a lot of fentanyl. You need just a small amount to get an even more powerful high. The cartels then mix the synthetics into heroin and other substances or press them into counterfeit pills. The product is then smuggled across the border. While total fentanyl seizures more than doubled last year to 1,196 pounds, officials say far more of the illicit drug is getting through. Some of the biggest fentanyl seizures have been in California because of the Mexican connection. Last month, for example, U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents seized 52 pounds of powdered fentanyl in the Pine Valley checkpoint near San Diego. And that wasn't a record. In December, officers discovered nearly 80 pounds in a college student's car. This summer, authorities discovered 20,000 fentanyl pills in a hidden compartment of a Mini Cooper at the San Isidro checkpoint a week after confiscating 11,500 pills in another vehicle. So, ladies and gentlemen, there ain't no way they're going to catch up to all of this fentanyl. This is really very clear, and they know it. U.S. drug dealers also purchase directly from China with a few clicks of a computer mouse on company websites or shopping on so-called dark web drug bazaars where communication are encrypted and dealers often pay with cryptocurrencies or gift cards that are difficult to trace. So, you know what? You know what they have done ultimately, ladies and gentlemen? They are able to think 10 steps away from the authorities. And it's always going to be tough for them to catch up to these people because they keep changing up so often. Because they're constantly changing everything. Even the fentanyl analog is constantly changing. It's hard for them to catch up or pinpoint where it's coming from or what dealer it's coming from or drug trafficker it's coming from. They can't pinpoint it, y'all. They have really been outdone by these drug traffickers and cartels. They're not going to tell you that. But there's no way, with the way that they're doing this, they're going to ever be able to really, truly shut it completely down. They can't. So now they're saying that the drug deaths are at 200 a day. I say triple or quadruple that number. That's what it really is. Even 200 a day for this whole country, that's low. It's not that low, y'all. It's way higher than that. So what I will do, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave the link to this article in the description box, and you can come out at your own leisure and read through this. But just know, in order for these articles to be coming out so often, it's really bad. It's really bad. It's so bad that it's scaring the hell out of them. to see so many of their own people dropping like flies on a regular basis in this country. It's hard. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. And those of you that have made comments like, this is revenge for the opium wars, you are absolutely right. Peace, family.